Moving on, and this is going to be our debate story as well. Almost 2 weeks after violence ravaged Nuh in Haryana, a Mahapanchayat organized by Hindu outfits in Palwal today has announced that they want to resume VHP's Brij Mandal Yatra on the 28th of this month. Remember, this is the very same procession that was disrupted after communal violence. At the Mahapanchayat, 9 demands have been put forth by the leaders who were in attendance. The key ones are that the clashes should be investigated by the NIA, that they have no faith in the state agencies whatsoever and the investigation should be taken away from them. They have called for a compensation of 1 crore rupees to be given to the families of the deceased as well as a government job. More importantly, they are also seeking licenses for people to keep weapons for self-defense. They have also sought that all cases should be shifted out of Nuh for hearing as well. And then comes the demand to divide and merge Nuh with other adjoining districts. The list of requisitions has now sparked a fresh war of words between political parties, especially the call for license stamps.
28 तारीख को जो हमारे धार्मिक संगठनों के साथी हैं, उन्होंने पंचायत से कहा है कि यात्रा हमारी वो अधूरी है, इसलिए उस यात्रा को पूरा किया जाना चाहिए। और पंचायत ने उनकी बात को तहे दिल से स्वीकार कर दिया कि जो भी किसी के झूठा मुकदमा दर्ज किया है, उन मुकदमे में से उनको निकालने का काम करे और एक-एक दोषी को पकड़ के जेल में ठोकने का काम करे। ये भी पंचायत का फैसला है। जो भी अधिकारी साजिश के तहत छोड़ के जिला भागे, उनकी भूमिका की जांच हो और उनके खिलाफ सरकार कार्रवाई करे।
Was a Mahapanchayat that took place on the border of Palwal and Nuh in Palwal district, and at the Mahapanchayat it has been decided that on August 28th the Brij Mandal Jalabhishek Yatra that was disrupted, that led to clashes back on July 31st, will happen on August 28th again. As of now, we will have to wait to understand whether the administration will give further permission to hold that yatra or not. But the Mahapanchayat here has decided that they will carry out the Brij Mandal Jalabhishek Yatra on 28th of August. Apart from that, the Mahapanchayat has also asked the central government that all the cases pertaining to July 31st should be handed over to NIA, National Investigating Agency, and not to the Haryana government and its agencies. Apart from that, compensation has been sought for people who have lost their lives, for the family, the next of kin of people, the 6 people who died in these clashes. The Mahapanchayat has asked for a 1 crore compensation and a government job for the family, and likewise 50 lakh compensation for people who were injured during these clashes. Apart from that, for a reason that there shouldn't be any such situation like July 31st in future, the Mahapanchayat has also requested the central government that there should be a paramilitary force battalion station headquartered in this region. And one of the biggest thing that came out from this Mahapanchayat wants to divide the Nuh district in among the adjoining district. They want Nuh district to cease from existence, and the areas of Nuh district should be merged with adjoining districts of Palwal, Faridabad and Gurgaon. So remains to be seen how things unfold. But for now, the Mahapanchayat has taken a decision that on August 28th, there will be a Brij Mandal Jalabhishek Yatra. Remember, that Yatra was the location where the clashes broke out back on July 31st.
Now the question is, should the yatra be allowed? Because the ball now is going to be in the state and administration's court. This especially after the consequences that were witnessed the last time around. Men were seen flaunting and firing guns, and we are not going into which side did they belong to, because eventually the 8 lives at least that have been lost so far can never be brought back. There is another cause of a worry, because there has also been a call today for licensed arms to be provided to people. The excuse may be that it is for self-defense, but who is going to ensure that they are not used inappropriately? The political spectrum is divided.
महापंचायत ने जो निर्णय किया है वहाँ की उस समय की घटनाओं को देख के किया होगा, तो जो आप कह रहे हैं महापंचायत में उन्होंने वैध लाइसेंस लेने के लिए, तो सरकार को दे देनी चाहिए। वैध लाइसेंस अवैध नहीं होना चाहिए, किसी के पास भी हो। और उनको जल के लिए भी प्रस्ताव जो आया है वहाँ से पंचायत का, तो हिंदू समाज तो धर्म को मानने वाला है, कोई भी धर्म हो अपने तरीके से मनाए, इसलिए उनको परमिशन दे देनी चाहिए।
अगर previously administration would have been vigilant and they should have taken care and they should have taken the cognizance of the intelligence report, this occurrence should not have occurred. Dispute that what the Mahapanchayat passes the dictates, but thing is only that we are living in a democratic country, and piece of the harmony and interaction, and as well as a feeling of togetherness. Feeling of the love should be between the communities as it used to be in the area of Mawat.
Now, whatever they are demanding, as far as compensation is concerned, we don't have any problem. Compensation should be given for the families. Government of Bharatiya Janata Party in Haryana has been failed to control, incompetent government. And if BJP government has decided to distribute these weapons and licenses, then everybody, every citizen of the area should be given. There should not be any discrimination.
So what happens from here on? To discuss that, I'm now joined on the broadcast by Nirmal Kaur, former IPS from Jharkhand, Romesh Sabharwal, who is a Congress leader, Siddharth Yadav of the BJP is with us, as well as Rishabh, who has been present at this Mahapanchayat when it took place this morning. Now, Mr. Siddharth Yadav, let me start with you. Now, the onus is on you. My straight question: should the state government allow this yatra to take place on the 28th?
Priya, the state government is going to take in consideration all the factors, and especially considering what happened last time and all the events that followed and what followed the violence that happened. So all of that, those things are going to be taken into consideration. There is no doubt that the Article 25 of our constitution gives every citizen a right to profess their religion, to take out yatras in a peaceful manner, and it is the duty for us to ensure that law and order situation pertains. When it comes down to the yatra, and specifically in that location, our administration has been very vigilant, and we have been trying to go to the root cause of why it happened, and it is very evident that a lot of events that happened that day were because of the orchestrated the nabbing of cyber criminals there, since the attack on the cyber police station and all of that happened. So we will take all of those things in consideration, and any demands of any such which comes under the legal purview are going to be taken into due consideration.
Okay, and while you've said a lot, you haven't mentioned anything. What are these specifics? What can be a deal breaker for you, for the state government? Let's just get a list of 3 things. Okay, this should be done, your yatra will be allowed, this should not be done.
No, I think it's going to be very early if we put down such things in numbers. The administration is taking into account everything. So the demands that are coming in, if the yatra has to go on, as I said, it is the right for any religious group, any community to go on and profess their
nobody is questioning that. Even the Supreme Court has upheld that. Even when the protests were to take place, now it's been 13 days, much earlier than this, the Supreme Court said that the processions are allowed. Romesh Sabharwal, where do you stand on this?
Yes.
No, Yatra can be held only if the administration feels that there will be no communal violence again. Moreover, the Mahapanchayat has taken some decision, so I think the administration should form the peace committees among the religion. Might be they would have already formed, So they can do a vartalap, they can do a dialogue with them also, and the Yatra should be completed at any cost, but with no communal violence, number one. Number two, in this Mahapanchayat, there is one thing more which I was observing. The people of Haryana, whether they are A religion or B religion, they have lost faith in this present government because they are trying to shift the cases from this district to other district, and they want to investigate that the Haryana government should not investigate, the NIA should be involved. So I feel that the government should adopt the method in which way the Yatra can be completed, and moreover the question is on the Haryana government credibility, which already they failed last time also. That's why we were demanding that there should be a Supreme Court inquiry or a High Court judge retired inquiry.
Yes, Siddharth Yadav, let me bring that to you very quickly. You are saying you will consider what demands they put on the table, but they are saying they have no faith in the state administration and they have no faith in the state courts as well. The Mahapanchayat said that we want cases to be moved out of Haryana courts as well as the investigation not to be conducted by the state police.
No, I'll respond to that. What Mr. Sabharwal from Congress was missing here, the first demand of the people present in the Mahapanchayat was to take action against Mahaman Khan, the Congress MLA, who after his statement, all of this has followed, all the entire violence, the local MLA from NU. So he should also consider that, because that is also a very pressing demand, and the government is taking into account into that. Secondly, what you asked about the involvement of NIA, that is nothing new for NU, because in a lot of earlier acts also the central agencies were involved. 5,000 policemen went down recently, a couple of months back, to nab the cyber criminals, the entire gang of cyber criminals that was operating out of that district, and central agencies were requested to help, and they did so. So it's nothing new. Thirdly, moving the cases out of their demand is not to move the cases out of the state, but to move them out of the district. And the administration is going to take a call on that, because it is felt, if it is felt that if those are operated if the cases are heard in the very same district, they might be influenced. And if the administration feels that they can come to a conclusion or to a settlement that this is a fair demand, I think that also has happened in a lot of cases earlier also. So that is also nothing new.
Okay, I'll get a clarification from my colleague Rishabh there. Rishabh, you were there, you listened to all those speeches. Did they give any reason why they want the cases to be transferred out of NU?
Well, off record, yes, Priya. When we were talking to a lot of members at Mahapanchayat, we got the sense that they do feel that the local administration are not vigilant enough. They are not, really involved with the cases, and they to find a solution to it. We have seen a lot of arrests being made as well. There are at least 8 young men who have been arrested by the local police of Sohna as well as NU, and the Mahapanchayat believe that for a fair trial, this should move out of NU. And this demand majorly came from people who are from NU, not from Sohna or Palwal, but majorly people from NU. And they believe that these trials should also be taken out. There are 2 reasons to it. A, they do believe that outside NU they will have a proper, better, trial to it. And B, they also believe that if these trials happen in NU, things might go beyond the control. They believe that if these trials day by day hearing happens within NU, this will keep itching the people memory what happened on July 31st. So that is also one of the reasons why they want. But definitely there is a bit of truth that people are right now, they do have distrust in the local administration,
yes,
and that's the reason.
Yes, and Ms. Nirmal Kaur, if I could bring you in over here. Now, the onus entirely lies on the security apparatus. When this yatra takes place, if the permission is granted on the 28th of August, the onus will be on the police of the state to ensure that a redux of July 31st does not happen. But with this kind of distrust in the police services, in the state apparatus, do you think that will be possible?
I think here's a chance for them to prove it. For what is forearmed? They know that, how it erupted all of a sudden, in a premeditated way, but nobody, the intelligence, nothing about it. So this time around, they know that it is likely to held, and since it is a question of faith, you can't argue on things of faith. When the yatra is held, they'll have to be full. And I think it can be done. It is not impossible.
Okay, Mr. Siddharth Yadav, how far are you willing to go in terms of agreeing to the demands that have been set forth? Some of them are quite controversial. They are saying that you must abolish NU as a district and you must also allow licensed arms to be given to people for self-defense.
So Priya, we'll have to understand of how it goes there, and so things are little different in NU, Mewat, the entire region. Yesterday also we saw some cow smugglers on the highway who were chased by Haryana police, and they started firing on the policemen. One of them was caught after the police returned fire, and one of the bullets were hit on the leg of the driver after they were trying to flee. So situations there get a bit tensed when cow smugglers and other such groups operate, and so any such demand, whatever comes under the legal the legal compass, I think will be given a due consideration, because when it comes down to, if I have to answer your specific questions of arms or anything, so legal arms, they have a due procedure. If someone wants to apply for arms and they justify all the reasons for it, they are entitled by the law to to be owners of such arms. So I think whatever will happen there will happen according to law.
The state knew about this procession in advance. There are also reports of intel failure. I'm nobody to sit in judgment on whether it was a failure or not, and even then you couldn't prevent what happened. How will you ensure that even if you give licensed weapons to people, that there is not a repeat of this? Look at the amount of fear that is there in the people.
I agree, and that is why I said that it is not yet decided that licensed weapons would be given, and that is also probably not the end solution. But I was trying to explain you the situation there and why probably the demand has come in. But as far as the government is concerned, we would only decide things which come under the legal compass. When it comes down to the yatra or any such events, definitely what happened 13 days ago in the Brij Mandal Yatra, we are investigating into that. We are taking actions on all concerned officials as well. And if the yatra is if the due permissions are given in the future also, we'll ensure that no such thing happens.
Okay. Mr. Romesh Sabharwal, do you believe the assurances?
I'll tell you one thing, the people, the citizens of our country are demanding the weapons. It's very unfortunate for us. There is no law and order. They have no trust on the law and order, on the administration. This means that we can't give a weapon to everybody. So this is a very fluid situation which is cultivating in Haryana. We have to observe it. This means that there is a total no trust at all on the Haryana government. Very unfortunate for this district. My submission is that that we should try to avoid all this, and we should try to see that the possession, if the government allows, there should be a total peace in this. And Mahapanchayat has taken up so many issues today. Being A religion or B religion, that doesn't mean that. But we are all citizens, we must follow the law, and we must don't involve more communal violence in the country. That is more important for us.
Okay. Ms. Nirmal Kaur, now when the state needs to decide whether to go ahead with this or not, what do you think can be done to ensure that both the religious sentiments, religious rights, as well as peace and harmony in the society is maintained and the government can walk the tightrope?
See, the basic problem there is the criminal elements. Mewat, the new area, this is known for takla karna. Cheating people. It's a kind of social engineering. पहले वो लोग कुछ gold का करते थे, अभी कुछ cyber crime. It's the new Jamtara of the country. So first thing they should do is crack down on criminal elements. There'll be lots of pending warrants. That is not a problem at all. I'm sure a district like that will have God knows how many pending warrants. Nobody can question that. Immediately they should take up a drive for, the entire area. Not only, this is actually Mewat region is three states, Rajasthan, UP and Haryana. So the entire Mewat region, they should, on a war footing, execute all the pending warrants. I think if you do that drive, it will take care of so many things in the next 2-3 days or in the next 4-5 days. Once the criminal elements are behind bars, things are not going to be that difficult. So I think the pending warrant drive is one thing that can be immediately taken as a, it's a band-aid. It's a very basic thing. And legally, nobody can question it. There are only warrants against those people. They have been established to be criminals. They are and courts have given warrants. So I think that is one thing which can be immediately done. These elements are criminal elements who are creating violence. They're not the normal public.
Yes, normal public eventually just ends up being the victim and caught in the crossfire between such elements, and it is the job of the state administration to ensure.
Can call a meeting.
Sorry, sir?
Government of India can call also a meeting of these three states.
No,
the
last time
DGPs
also
can
there
call
was a
in
peace
Home
committee
Ministry.
meeting in which everything was assured, and then people from other states came and so the thing is, we do not even make a distinction between who's an infiltrator, who's an asylum seeker, who's a refugee. Out here, like Mexico, US border, they have massive infiltration problem. But the whole of country is together in America to fight it. What are we doing? We are making it a Muslim, we are making it a religious issue, we are making it a communal issue. We are not even looking at it as a Ghuspetia problem, infiltrator problem. You are bearing burden of crores and crores of people. We have so many universities. I think Gurgaon alone has so many universities that the whole country has. You have any number of universities. And that has there been a single scientific research on impact of migration or infiltration on our economy, on our environmental system, because it affects many spheres of life.
Right, and in fact, it's interesting that you mentioned infiltration, because one of the demands that was put forth today was also that people from other countries settled in our region should be identified and removed. Nobody can deny this is not just a case of a crime happening and victims. It is a social situation as well that needs to be tackled. There are complexities, but just that the intent should be right to solve the problem, not short-term band-aid, as you said, ma'am, but long-term solutions. So thank you, gentlemen and ma'am, for joining me on the broadcast. We take a very quick break.